Okay, last video that we're going to look at is identifying conics. Okay, and so the key thing to note is you need to know the key characteristics of each conic. There are 4 conics in total. Okay, they are parabolas, circles, hyperbolas, and ellipses. The reason why they're called conics is if you look at the image I have placed on the screen here, conics all are taken from a right circular cone. Okay, if you cut off the top, you get a circle. You slice the next part of the top, you get an ellipse, parabola, hyperbola. Okay, so there are only 4 and they all fit in a cone. That's why they're called conics. Each of them has their own characteristics though, right? So parabolas have only one squared term. Let's use a different color. Right, so it's either got the x is squared or the y is squared, but not both. So that's how you know you have a parabola. If you don't have 2 squared terms, it's not anything but a parabola. Then we've got circles, right, which have 2 squared terms, or variables, but constant of 1 in front of each. Okay, and then hyperbolas have 2 squared terms, is equal to 1, and has a minus sign. Ellipses have 2 squared terms, is equal to 1, and has a plus sign. Okay, so there are 4 possible choices. So if I say identify each conic, you have a 25% chance of getting the right answer. Let's start looking at identifying some of these. Okay, so if we look at, let's say we're looking at 5b. Okay, it says 4x squared plus 4y squared minus 8x minus 8y plus c is equal to 0. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by 4. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because both x and y have that in common. So I want to get rid of it. So I end up with x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 2y plus 7/4 equals 0. And then I'm going to get x's together, y's together, and the 7/4 on the other side. X squared minus 2x plus y squared minus 2y equals negative 7/4. X minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals negative 7/4 plus 1 plus 1, which ends up being 1/4 left over, right? So I have a constant of 1 in front of each of these. That's how I know it's a circle. If I didn't have a constant of 1 and say one was 1 and the other one was, so this is 1 and this one was 3, it's not a circle anymore, right? Because a circle is equidistant from the center everywhere, whereas an ellipse is not and a hyperbola is not. So my center of my circle is 1, 1, and my radius is 1/2. And that's it. That's how you figure out the equation of the circle. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's say we're looking at 6b. Okay, and 6 looks a little weird, but I'm giving you a hint as to what the test is going to have. Okay, and so 6b, I gave you the equation I want you to do, and I gave you 4 out of the 5 letters, and then I pick one of each. And so b is equal to 0 in 6b. So that means a is 2x squared plus 0y squared, because b is 0, plus 4x plus 16y plus 2 equals 0. Okay, and so this is the equation here, and I want you to identify the conic. And you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right. So first thing I'm going to do is 0 times y is what? That's right, 0. So 2x squared plus 4x plus 16y plus 2 equals 0. I know just from this second line here, I have a parabola because we said it on the last slide. Parabolas only have one variable squared, and I only have one variable squared here. And so now I'm just going to solve the equation of the parabola for standard form. So I'm going to move the 2x squared and the 4x to the other side. I'm going to divide everything by 2. I'm going to factor out a negative. And then I'm going to complete the square. 1 squared is 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And then I'm going to solve for y. And that's my equation. Okay? Let's do one more. Let's look at 5D. 5D says 9x squared minus y squared minus 18x plus 4y minus 31 is equal to 0. So automatically, I know I don't have a parabola. And the reason why is because I don't have only one variable squared. I have two. Both the x and the y have a squared term, and neither of them are being multiplied by 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the x's together, all the y's together, and move the 31 to the other side. So I have 9x squared minus 18x minus y squared plus 4y equals 31. I'm going to factor out a 9 from the x's and a negative from the y's. Okay, and then I'm going to complete the square. I've got 9x minus 1 squared minus y minus 2 squared equals 31. 1 squared is 1 times 9 is 9, so plus 9. And 2 squared is 4 times a negative 1 is negative 4. Okay, so we end up with 36. All right. And then I'm going to divide everything by 36. And the reason why I do this instead of keeping it on the other side is because this is a 9 and this is a 1. So it cannot be a circle. 1, 9, not 1, 1. All right. So I get x minus 1 squared over 4 minus y minus 2 squared over 36 equals 1. So this is a hyperbola because I have a denominator, first off, okay, and they're different, and I have a minus sign, so it's a hyperbola. And the center of this hyperbola is 1, 2, and since it's hyperbola, it has foci, which are 1 plus c, comma k, 1 minus c, comma k. And the reason why I know that is because this is positive here, this x, yes? So it means I have a horizontal major axis. So I'm going to figure out c. A squared is 4, b squared is 36, so c squared is 40, which means c is plus or minus 2 root 10. So I've got, for my foci, 1 plus 2 root 10, comma k, which is 2, and 1 minus 2 root 10, 2. And that's it. That's how I find my equation of everything. Hopefully that was beneficial. Make sure you know how to graph each of these. I included some half hyperbolas and half ellipses here, but if you know how to figure those out, you should be able to figure it out on the test. And I hope these videos are helpful. I think a lot of you are just overthinking a lot of this It's really not as scary as it sounds. All right. And if you have any questions, I'm available through email all weekend.